Hi, everybody. In today's episode, we introduce Excellent Brain, a company focused on boosting cognitive performance through neurofeedback training. They have developed a platform that combines EEG headsets with personalized programs designed to improve focus and attention, whether for personal development or in educational settings. Excellent Brain offers a unique approach to mental training. Let's see how their technology is helping users unlock their brain's potential. Today, we are joined by Ofer Lidsky, founder and CEO at Excellent Brain. Welcome, Ofer. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Taksha. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so I watched an interview you gave some months ago where you say you have experience and you work since you were like 12 years old. That's crazy. And you work in different fields over these years. So what inspired the creation of Excellent Brain? How did this start?
So about 15 years ago, I suddenly found out that there are EEG sensors, off-the-shelf products that you can buy and connect your brain to the computer. This field is called brain-computer interface, which is very interesting, and you can do different things with that. And this is how I got to have the first EEG sensors. And on the other side, my son was on a special education class, and then I got to know ADHD more. And from that, I found out that there is a brain training method that exists for many years, actually from the early 80s.
Wow.
And nobody knows about it. And it's highly efficient for ADHD. So I connected the dots, and I then decided to found Excellent Brain in 2015 with a clear vision to make neurofeedback accessible, affordable, and practical for ADHD. And this is what we've been doing for almost 10 years. And as you said, we have solutions for from schools down to parents who wants to train their kids who is diagnosed with ADHD. And the best thing is that neurofeedback for ADHD, that we did not invent, exists for many years, has been found to be as effective as drug treatment in many cases. So we do have a certain percentage of our trainees that their doctor will take them off medication, and they can reach almost a normal point.
Wow.
The thing is that you have to do a training program. It's not magic. You have to work for it, brain, and you get results.
Yeah, and now that you mentioned about the medication, this is a traditional way to treat ADHD with pills, therapy, etc. So Excellent Brain, it's an option to replace it, or goes by the hand with the traditional way?
So we like to say that it complements it, because the drug treatment is a highly effective solution that helps many kids and save their life, and help them go through school and then university and so on. But today, especially in Israel and United States, who are the first in the world in giving drug treatment to kids, then you can do some other stuff, and it complements each other. And research shows that doing a training program of neurofeedback, which takes approximately 15 weeks, is a little bit easier if you have a drug treatment, because you do the 20 minutes twice a week, and it helps you do that. And so it really complements each other. And neurofeedback is like a present for life, because you really train yourself and you get from point A to point B, and you improve certain aspects. By the way, three main symptoms of ADHD. The first one is the attention span, the ability to be on a single, thread of thought for a longer time, and reducing hyperactivity and impulsivity in a very effective way. So we really, our policy and the way we approach it is that you have to try it anyway, because it really can help you, and it doesn't contradict anything else. And a kid should have an holistic solution with many different solutions to get him to the best point he can get.
Yeah, and especially now that this educational system is not, we have a lot of problems with the educational system, and ADHD became one of the main for the kids that needs to be at the school or at university. So I think that it's really helpful too.
Exactly. So I talked to a lot of teachers really all over the world, and in Israel especially, they're talking about a very high percentage of kids that they don't have the ability to, read long and many pages, or to sit in class for 45 minutes and listen, and it's very hard for people. And I think it's worldwide. Patience is going down, and the ability, to stay on something for longer is it's getting shorter. So part of the neurofeedback training is to sit in front of the computer for 20 minutes and concentrate. And for example, you have a car on the screen and you concentrate and the car starts to drive. Once you are distracted, let's say you have a WhatsApp, someone rings a bell, I don't know, whatever, the car will stop and you have to concentrate again. And the thing is to concentrate for as long as you can, for 20 minutes, twice a week, 15 weeks, 30 sessions. And it really changes your ability to stay focused on something, because you did, you repeat it enough times to really, first of all, learn how to do it better, and then, teach the brain that it will stay for a long time.
Yeah, that's true. And now that you are talking about this, I want you to explain us how does neurofeedback technology help to improve focus and attention?
Sure. So it's pretty simple to understand. Scientists have found that the brain emits brainwaves, right? We know that for over 100 years. Actually, in 100 years ago, it was found that there is EEG, electroencephalography. So, and scientists measure what is a, let's say, healthy brain, how it works, and then you can see brains who have different syndromes or symptoms, they work a bit different, and their brain waves and frequencies are a little bit different. So neurofeedback is a way to really modulate those brain waves to the normal. So what we do in Excellent Brain is we measure the prefrontal cortex, right in the above the left eyebrow. It's called frontal point 1. And this area has a good scientific connection to the executive functions and also to the mechanisms of attention. So once you train this area and try to make it as normal as possible, so these functionalities get better. And how you do that is on a positive feedback. The sensor itself is a passive sensor. It only reads the brainwaves, transmit to the computer, and then you have some kind of a game, an activity, like the car I told you, or a different dragon or whatever. We have a lot of games, and you have to concentrate, and we measure your brainwaves. We know how much you're concentrated, and things start to happen on the screen. You get a positive feedback. And then you start to learn how to get back to that point, faster and better, and again for 30 sessions, and you get much better in terms of the aspects I told you about.
Wow, that's really cool, because I watched some videos that you had at the website, how this works, some of the exercise, and it's really like crazy that, as you said, this exists for many years, but nobody did it before. Like nobody has I don't know, the idea or the motivation.
It wasn't accessible. I mean, neurofeedback is all over the world, but it's really costly. I mean, in Israel, it's between $100 to $200 a session. So it will cost a lot of money to go through a training session, and we our innovation is really to make it accessible, that you can do it almost anywhere and almost anyone. Really to help as many people as possible to make their lives better by using neurofeedback, and that's our vision of Excellent Brain.
Yeah, that's really cool, and I think that is really helpful, as we said, for the kids, for the students. But I also read that Excellent Brain is not just for this specific group of people. You can also work with elderly people to make them improve their memory, their concentration. So I want to know how this works for elderly people.
Sure. So we took almost the same training that we have for kids and adolescents in terms of ADHD, You have to bring your brain to a higher brainwave of concentration, of cognitive performance. And we did some adaptations in terms of time and how much you do it. And we developed a solution that I can tell, let's say it competes with Sudoku and you know, doing this stuff. And if you ask someone who is like, let's say 80 years old, how much training did you do this week in Sudoku or I don't know, doing math, whatever, it will be hard to get a scientific answer with a real measurement. So here there is a training that you do twice a week for approximately 30 minutes. And it will be more effective than sitting, you know, for hours, and maybe sometimes you even fall asleep and you don't know how much training you did do. So here it really measures your brain. You get the real graphs, you know, how much you did, how much you train. And the thing is to really try to retain the brain cognitive abilities, right? To let's say slow the degradation that the brain goes through in higher ages.
Yeah, that's impressive because when I was reading, I was like, oh, I didn't know that this also worked for elderly people. That I think is super important because you said through the years you still you start to lose your memory, your concentration, and of course we have these little activities that we can do like Sudoku. But as you said, we can
everything helps, but this thing really is really effective. So I always say combine as much as you can, because you know that there is no magic solution. But really, if you do the work and you have the motivation, you can really improve at any age, by the way, even at the age of 90.
Yeah, that's
really
true, that's true. And I think it as I said, it's really helpful and crazy that was not so affordable before, so that's why nobody did it. And going back to your experience, to your background, I want to know what skills that you learned over the years you consider the most important for your job now.
So first of all, I was an entrepreneur really since I was a kid.
And
I got my first computer. I got my first job at the age of 12, and I got my first computer when I was 7. I think it was 1980. So I learned to program very quickly. In 3-4 years, I knew how to program in a few languages. And I think that gave me really the basis, for the scientific basis and the software engineering basis to go and then learn more and more. And through my career, I studied a few fields. One of them is virtual reality. The other is cybersecurity. I have another company that exists for over 20 years in cybersecurity, and brain-computer interface and neurofeedback. And I went to study that in the university, and I became a neurofeedback practitioner in order to really understand how it works and to develop a platform that encapsulates what you get in the clinic and then, you know, get it at home, at school, at the other clinics, and so on.
Yeah, that's cool. And I imagine that during all these years you faced a lot of challenge. So what do you think that was the principal challenge that you faced during these years and developing also everything for Excellent Brain?
So as an experienced entrepreneur, I can tell other entrepreneurs that the factor that, you know, of success is, first of all, timing. I had a few startups that they were ahead of time. And even if you have the best solution and the best technology, if the market is not ready and it's not there, then it's not the right timing. So the number one factor is timing. But as a personal factor, I think that dedication, motivation, you know, are the two things that are really an entrepreneur must have, because there are a lot of walls you have to go, you know, beyond and break and find a way and solve complex problems. And but at the end of the day, for any company, doesn't matter if it's a startup or not, it comes down to marketing and sales. So you know, you can have the best product in the world, but if you don't have customers, you can go home. And entrepreneurs should think about that, because as a developer and entrepreneur, you're really focused on the ideas and technology and development, which are really, really fascinating and interesting. But then you have to sell that in the market, and you have to know how to do that. And I think that's my 2 cents on that.
Yeah, and developing the Excellent Brain, the product, what challenge you faced during these 9 years that you had Excellent Brain?
The platform was developed over the years with over 15 different developers, and it really encapsulates a lot of technologies, from analyzing brainwaves to security and encryption, to be correct in terms of regulation. And so there's a lot of aspects and features that we developed over 9 years. And our platform has a lot of abilities, and it really has the best ability to make neurofeedback accessible, and can really people can use it, and it will be effective for them. And that's our vision, to bring it to as many people as possible all over the world, because there are a lot of kids in school that really suffer from that, and they're really having a hard time in school because of ADHD, and there are other ways, and they can really improve their lives.
Yeah, that's true. And I remember when I was at school that maybe we didn't have this about ADHD like so clear before. Like we didn't, maybe some people know, but not everybody. So it was difficult because you were at school and you were not paying attention, and the teachers and the parents were like, oh, he or she is like not paying attention because they don't want. It's not like I don't want or the other people don't want. It's because you have a special condition. I don't know how to say it, but that is not allowing you to concentrate.
Yeah, exactly. So today, a lot of people are a lot of more aware, and now in the US, for example, a lot of people who are at the age of 40 and 50, they call it late diagnosed. They get diagnosed at the age of 40 and 50, and suddenly they understand that they went through most of their lives with something, and now they start to understand what it is, and how to treat it. It's really interesting. And I think, but people are combining two things that are happening in the world. One, there is ADHD, which is something that is, I believe, genetic, and there is a genetic disposition, and it's the factors are really known. And there is another thing that's happening to the Western society because of social media and smartphones, is the time span that someone spends on someone and the attention are going down for all humans in the Western countries, and we know that today people have like 3 seconds and they go to the next movie on TikTok or next webpage or whatever, and it wasn't like that. And something is changing in the world. Things are much faster, so the world is changing, and there is an effect on the people.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't realize until you said that we are like with our phones and we are on TikTok or Instagram, and we are like just sweeping. Like sometimes you see something about watch something for 5 seconds and you're, oh, I get bored. Next one.
5 seconds is long. I'm telling you, it's less than 3. It's less than 3 now. The average, the
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. Okay, yeah. I didn't realize it until you said it, but it's totally true. I agree with you about that. And now that we are talking about challenge, what challenge you face, but now talking about business in the supply chain management or the procurement process.
So I think one of the biggest challenges that we are going through now in Israel as Israel companies is that Israel is in a war for almost a year. Tomorrow is a year, and it's the worst war we ever had, and it really affects the economy and business all over Israel. And so I think that's one of the biggest challenges I ever faced in my experience, because it's something that's very big, and it affects all the country and all the market, and also affects all the country, all the citizens. I mean, how we feel here. So I think that's a very extreme challenge, and it's not the usual one, because in most countries you don't get to go through this kind of challenge.
Yeah, of course, I imagine, and I hope that everything goes better for Israel and for everybody that is living there, for the companies, for the people. Yeah, it's totally true, and I understand that this is the main challenge probably of your career or during all these years.
Yeah, for sure. One of the biggest ones. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, now talking about Excellent Brain, what are your future goals for scaling this technology? I don't know, globally. I know that you are now on the U.S. market too, so let me know how you are planning to expand this and what are the updates you will work on.
Sure. So we are now in the phase of expansion in Excellent Brain. So we are in a phase of penetrating many countries that we didn't sell there before. So we are working, of course, on the US market and Canada and UK, and very soon in China. And we are already selling in Germany and Greece and Romania and some other European countries. And so our main focus for the next at least 2-3 years is really to make neurofeedback accessible for ADHD. After we will become a market leader in that terms and in that field, we will introduce other solutions that we are developing. Some of them are really sophisticated and are under development, and we'll go to the market at the right point. At the current stage, really our goal is to become one of the leaders in neurofeedback for ADHD, and this is our main focus currently.
Yeah, I think that is really cool, and I also watched the Excellent Brain kit that you can have at home, you can have at schools, you can, I don't know if you're a psychologist or a doctor, you can have it to work with your patients. So I think it's really cool.
Exactly that. I mean, until now, neurofeedback was only in specialized clinics. So you have to be a practitioner of neurofeedback and to learn how to work with very sophisticated EEG devices. And now we introduced the possibility that a psychologist who never heard about neurofeedback can now train her clients together with the other stuff that she is already doing. So it's one of the best tools to add to different clinics and coaches and schools. In Israel, we are a registered program in the Israeli Ministry of Education for over 8 years. And we are in many schools in Israel, and it's really part of our vision, because schools are a place where you can make a big difference because
Yeah.
the impact is big. And so that's part of our vision.
Yeah, and as you said, there is people now that are probably 40 years old and they are starting to discover that they have ADHD. So if we can help the kids since they are like really like 5, 6, 7 years old, will be better when they arrive to 40. Like no, they are not going to understand.
Different life. Yeah, it's a different life. I mean, really, life will take you to a different place, right? If you can handle everything and you have good grades, and then you can really build the path for your life easier than struggling with the system.
Yeah, I'm totally agree with that. And with all the experience that you had over these years, what is your main advice for the entrepreneurs that are probably starting now, or they have like a company that have some years, or probably they have just the idea, but they want to start something? What is your main advice for them?
So in terms of startups, the main issue for initiating a startup is the fundraising. So, if you know how to do the fundraising and get investors, that's the engine that will fire your startup to the next phase. And then what I said, you have to be in the right timing, with the right product and so on. But of course, fundraising is the basics of startups.
Yeah, so it's something that you have to take a look at that to start with something, for the entrepreneurs that maybe they are young, maybe they are not, but they want to start something to help in the world in general.
Sure.
Yeah. So, well, thank you so much, Ofer, for this interview. It was so crazy, so cool to hear you, to learn more about ADHD, to Excellent Brain, and all the work that you do with your team. So where we can find you and Excellent Brain, social media, website you would like to share?
Everywhere you will search Excellent Brain, you will get to our website, which is excellent-brain.com, and you get all the information there. It's pretty easy. And I would really like to thank you, Taksha, for having me and helping me spreading the word, because we really want to make a difference in the world of, in the domain of ADHD.
Yeah, thank you so much. And for everybody that is watching, be sure to visit our website, buildernation.io. You can also connect with us on LinkedIn by following Builder Nation for the latest updates and exclusive content. And thank you again, Ofer, for joining us today. It was really, really cool. And thank you, everybody, for being part of this amazing community. We will see you in the next episode.